we'll come back to you.
Okay. Yes. Anyway, no. Uh, well, the family really got started in Sacramento when Grandpa was already in Sacramento working, and he had gone back to Denver where they got married, and he came here with his bride Cecilia, and that was probably around 1913, maybe even sooner, 1912, because she worked at Weinstock Lubin before she ever started to have all these children. There were 8 children, and Marjorie was the baby of the family. But anyway, so she worked at the Cecilia worked at Weinstock's, and she was their head hat designer because women wore fancy hats at that time. So anyway, but sadly, Cecilia died when Marjorie was very young, and all I remember about that is that Marjorie told me that her brother Edward, who was probably just 7 years older than Marjorie, he's the one that taught Marjorie how to cook. Anyway, so we go on from there a little bit, and Marjorie had a very nice wedding. It was beautiful, and she had a very pretty dress that she had spent all her money on. And I didn't tell you, I first met her right after Vincent and I got married. She was going to a business school in Grass Valley, so we drove up there from Los Angeles and met
I
her
don't
then.
remember
And I
that at
thought
all.
she was a very pretty gal. So then we really didn't see much of her. Uh, she married Jim. We visited them in San Francisco where they lived, and that was a lot of fun. And then where's my teleprompter? anyway, anyway, um, she visited us when all of her kids were little. Even before Mary was born, she started coming here to the ranch where we moved here in '57. She started coming up here with the kids, and I really can't think of any exciting things about Marjorie there. She would come and with all these kids and all of my kids, and I think we would just have a glass of wine and let the kids run wild. So anyway, I know one time later on when the kids were getting a little bit older and we could leave them, I know we went out to a friend's house that lived 20 miles the other side of Cottonwood, and we're having a nice visit. And she had a beautiful big patio with all these antique stoves, and she had that was before artificial flowers came in, and so she had all these beautiful flowers, geraniums, and just gorgeous shades. And so I knew what they were, and Marjorie asked if she could have slips of the geraniums because they were so pretty. And we both, my friend and I, started laughing because they were the first artificial flowers that had come out. So I remember that. And then let's see, Marge and I had a couple of trips. One long one was Dan had a brand new little Toyota Celica, bright, bright yellow. And it had a he was an optometrist then, so we had a license plate that said I'm a OD. So we sort of thought that made people think we were something to do with drugs. So anyway, we drove to visit Vince's brother Edward in Los Angeles. Am I going too long? And then we went stopped at Palm Springs to visit my folks. I think we spent the night there. Then we went on to visit Janice. Janice and Alan were living in Phoenix at that time. So, and we had just a ball in this bright yellow little sports car. We thought we were so grand. We came home. Marge had to go the long way home, so she wanted to see the London Bridge, which is up in Lake Havasu or someplace close to Vegas. So we went there. I'm not sure that Logan even has this film turned on, but anyway, Anyway, no, so that was a fun time, and I did take another trip with Marge and Mary, and I went up to visit the same friend who lived summers up in Fort Klamath, Oregon. So we went up there and had a nice visit. And there must be more things that I can think of, but at this point, I just know that we had lots of fun together, and she was always a good, true friend.